Nanna Spriha Raghupate Hridaye Asmadiye Satyam Vadami Cha Bhavan Akhilantaratma Bhakti Prayacha Raghupungava Nirbharang Me Kamadidosha Rahitam Kurumana Sancha. O God, I tell you the truth, I have no other desire. And you being the innermost self of all beings, you know it very well. O God, give me the ardent devotion only and make my mind free from all impurities like passion, etc. A very good evening to you all. It's a pleasure to be present with the Bhakti Yoga of Swami Vivekananda. The last time we have been reading from last 10th of August from the chapter Bhakta's Renunciation from Love. So in all paths, Swamiji says that you need renunciation. But in other paths, renunciation as it where it is forced on the aspirant. I have to do, otherwise I cannot go forward. It is injunction, prohibition, these things I cannot do's and don'ts. But in the case of devotee, Swamiji says Bhakta's renunciation is that vairagya or non-attachment for all things that are not God, which results from anuraga or great attachment to God. Automatically it comes. For the love of God, that I am renouncing something, I don't think so. My mind doesn't work in that way that I am being compelled to do to please somebody, to fulfill the conditions. There is no condition, my mind automatically goes. So Swamiji is telling this is the ideal preparation for the attainment of the supreme bhakti, para-bhakti. And when that para-bhakti comes in the minds of the devotees, what happens to such devotee? Such devotees are still living. The world is never without them. Such, though bitten by a serpent, only say that a messenger came to them from their beloved God. Such men alone have the right to talk of universal brotherhood. They feel no resentment. Their minds never react in the form of hatred or jealousy. The external, the sensuous, has vanished from them forever. How can they be angry when through their love, they are always able to see the reality behind the scenes? So they see the presence of blessings of God present everywhere. They don't feel that I am being tortured, I am suffering, I am passing through misery. Life is miserable. No, everything is full of joy and love for God. They see the presence of God in everyone, in everything. Everything is auspicious. In the Chandi also there is a sloka, Om Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarva. You are the auspiciousness of all auspiciousness. So, everywhere this devotee's mind becomes so pure, so deeply loving, intense love for God, that devotees do not find any pain in renouncing anything in this world. And now Swamiji is going forward, and this is a new chapter. Swamiji is telling the naturalness of Bhakti Yoga and its central secret. How this renunciation automatically comes in the mind of the devotees who have intense love for God. They don't bother for anything in this world. They are, because they are absorbed in God and God alone, they are always in joy, blissful, joyful condition, always an underflow, undercurrent of joy in them, despite what is there outside. It is misery, it is suffering, it is problem, it is torture, they don't mind. And such condition, it was, Swamiji quoted that such bhaktas are still living, the world is never. Such bhaktas, devotees, even though beaten by a serpent, they say, no, nothing has happened. A messenger, snake is a messenger from my beloved to take me back. It happened. So, it is not a story, it is a fact. Swami Vivekananda knew this story of this Pahari Baba, who was staying in Gajipur, and Pahari Baba was a yogi and thinking of God, meditating, taking very little food through a window, little bit, and not coming out in the society, talking to others, getting any distraction in the mind, always absorbed in his own self, within himself. So, on 2 days he was not coming out. What happened? Then devotee, he was not opening the window. A little bit food, what devotees used to supply, that also he was not taking. What happened? Then after 2 days, when he opened the window, and then devotee says, what happened to you? Maharajji, you did not open. We have been thinking, what happened to you? Then this was his answer, that a messenger came to me from my beloved. Means God has sent the snake to give a bite, and after snake bite I will die. And dying means this body will fall. I will be one with my beloved God. See the thinking level. They never think that it is, I am being tortured, I am suffering, it is burning, pain, pang. No challenge, no complaint, no unhappiness, no resentment. This kind of people, such men alone can talk about the universal brotherhood. Others have talked about the universal brotherhood. They feel no resentment. Their minds never react in the form of hatred or jealousy. Other people say about this. There it is only talks. I love you, I see God, God present everywhere. But selfishness is there, ego is there, feeling of body is there, and just quoting some good things. Even Swamiji said, even devil quotes the scripture. So to establish their wickedness, that no, it is there in the scripture. So devils also quote the scripture when they feel that will be suitable for them to justify his or her action or behavior, conduct. But devotees are devotees, they are so pure, they are completely dependent on God. This is the state of parabhakti, when that parabhakti enters in the mind of the spiritual aspirants who follow the path of devotion. They become like that. The external, the sensuous has vanished from their mind. How can they be angry when through their love they are always able to see the ultimate reality behind everything? So there is no drivers from their minds, and they are not being forced to say something good. Automatically the followers of devotion, when parabhakti, intense love for God, is generated, is grown in their mind, they find that everything is divine. No complaint, no anger, no jealousy, no feeling of hatred, anything towards anybody. Now the new chapter, Swamiji began with the question of Arjuna. In the Gita, Arjuna was asking, those who with constant attention always worship you, and those who worship the undifferentiated, the absolute, of these, who are the greatest yogis? So, Swamiji, up to 11th chapter, In the 11th chapter, Swamiji is telling, after showing the Vishwarupa Darshana, Swamiji is telling that at the end of this 11th chapter, Swamiji is telling, Nahang vedori na tapasa na dhanena na chejjaya shakka evam vidho drishtuvanasi mang yatha. Neither by study of the Vedas, nor by penance, nor again by charity, nor even by ritual can I be seen in this form with 4 arms. This Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padadhari, this mace, conch shell, and then lotus. So with this murti, 4-armed God's, Bhagavan Vishnu's murti, statue, that form, as you have seen me. Nobody can see, but you have seen, and through neither by study of the Vedas, nor by penance, nor again by charity, nor even by ritual, this ritualistic puja, we do this, that, homa, havan, all these things. Oh, I am doing this, some good will come, I will get some merit. By doing all these things, you cannot have what you have just seen. Through 11th chapter, Vishwarupa Darshan, this cosmic form I have shown you. So, Bhagavan is telling the Sri Krishna that through single-minded devotion, however, I can be seen in this form. Nay, known is in essence and even entered into. O valiant Arjuna! Arjuna, he who performs all his duties for my sake, depends on me, is devoted to me, has no attachment, and is free from malice towards all beings, reaches me. So, with these words, this 11th chapter ended, and then in the 12th chapter, Arjuna asked these questions. Evam satata yukta ye bhaktaspam paryupasate ye chappaksharam abhyaktam teshanke yoga vittamaha. Arjuna asked the question, O Lord, the devotees exclusively and constantly devoted to you in the manner stated just earlier, adore you as possessed of form and attributes, and those who adore as the supreme reality only, the indestructible, unmanifest Brahman, who is truth, knowledge and bliss, Satchit Ananda, that formless aspect of Brahman, unmanifested. Of these 2 types of worshippers, who are the best knowers of yoga? Who? So this was the question by Arjuna, and Swamiji and Bhagavan Sri Krishna will answer. Swamiji began with this. Those who with constant attention always worship you, and those who worship the undifferentiated, unmanifest, the absolute, Satchidananda, that aspect. Of these, who are the greatest yogis? Arjuna asked of Sri Krishna, and the answer was Sri Krishna was answering. And these beautiful slokas are there. It will take time, but there are several slokas are there. And just Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, Maya Vishwa Mano Yima Nikta Yukta Upasate Shraddhaya Parayopeta Teme Yukto Tamamata Ye tu aksharam anirdesham abhyaktam paryupasate sarvatragam achintan cha kutostham achalam dhruvam sanyamendriya gramam sarvatra samabuddhaya te prapnuvanti mam eva sarvabhuta hite rata. All this, and then God said, I'll come. This mantra's meaning Swamiji has given, quoted. This Arjuna asking this question, and who is greater, following the path of knowledge or following the path of devotion? Who is a greater yogi? Who will come to you earliest? Who is the better one? So that was the question. You have said to me, bhakti, karma, devotion, action, discrimination, path of knowledge, path of meditation, yoga, Raja Yoga. What actually path I will follow, and who is? I will follow means what is the better one? Those who constantly paying their attention, thinking of you, always worship you, they are bhaktas, they are better. Or those who worship the absolute, formless aspect, who are the greatest yogis? Now, Bhagavan is answering Sri Krishna, and Swami Vivekananda quoted it here, began with this, with the Gita. Those who concentrating their minds on me, worship me with external constancy, and are endowed with the highest faith, they are my best worshippers. They are the greatest yogis. Those that worship the absolute, the indescribable, the undifferentiated, the omnipresent, the unthinkable, the all-comprehending, the immovable, and the eternal, by controlling the play of their organs and having the conviction of sameness in regard to all things, they also, being engaged in doing good to all beings, come to me alone. They also come. But to those whose minds have been devoted to the unmanifested absolute, the difficulty of the struggle along the way is much greater. For it is indeed with great difficulty that the path of the unmanifested absolute is trodden by any embodied beings. Klesha adhikatarastesham abhyakta asakta chetasam abhyakta hi gatir yukkham dehavad viravapyate. Of course, the strain is greater for those who have their mind attached to the unmanifest, as attunement with the unmanifest is attained with difficulty by the body conscious people. Arjun, all will come, but so long you have body consciousness, it is very, very difficult to come to me, to attain me, to realize my real self, to know me perfectly. For them, those who have this body consciousness, is very difficult. But for the devotees, it is easier. That is what Bhagavan is telling in the Bhakti Yoga, 12th chapter in the Gita. And Swamiji here quoted this Bhakti Yoga. So, wonderful words Bhagavan Sri Krishna told Arjuna, and Swamiji is trying to combine this, harmonizing that Jnana and Bhakti. There is no actually difference at the end. Path a little different. Those who have this body consciousness, 99.99999% people, we have our body consciousness. We cannot think of anything without our body first. So, why you should pretend? You will also come. What the Jnanis will come? Yes, those who are already perfected, to have lost their consciousness of body, yes, they can perform, they can follow that path. But it is easier, and I love them, who always constantly worship me. Anannaschintantamang ye jana parjupasate tesham nittavijuktanang yogakshamang bhamu. Those who constantly think of me, worship me, meditate on me, fixing their mind completely on me and me alone, without any distraction. I protect them, whatever they have achieved, material, secular treasure, wealth or spiritual wealth, and whatever they need to achieve perfection, I supply that, I bring that, I myself carry that, Bhagavan is telling in the Gita. So, Swamiji will very nicely trying to harmonize this Jnana and Bhakti here, and he will tell. So, it is very difficult. They also come to me alone. But to those whose minds have been devoted to the unmanifested absolute, the difficulty of the struggle along the way is much greater. For it is indeed with great difficulty that the path of the unmanifested absolute is trodden by any embodied being. Those who, having offered up all their work unto me, with entire reliance on me, meditate on me and worship me without any attachment to anything else, them I soon lift up from the ocean of ever-recurring births and deaths, as their mind is wholly attached to me. Bhagavan himself is telling that is also a path, this is also a path, there are paths. And Sri Ramakrishna said, not only these four, yato mata tato patha. As many yato mat, as many faiths, so many paths. All faiths, if you have really faith, if you have really love for God, if you really want to know the ultimate reality, anything, any name, any form, without form, or when form, with any form, but you have to be very sincere. You do something, you cannot be a hypocrite. Don't try to be too smart with God. God knows our everything, what is there. A little bit thought, nobody will understand it. People will think, oh, Maharaj is thinking. But what I am thinking? Am I thinking of God? Or am I thinking of something else? God knows. Sri Ramakrishna used to say that God can hear even the ringing of the anklets of the small, tiny ants. Ants dancing with that nupur. That sound also God can hear. You don't need to shout, you don't need to offer any prayer. Those who have taken initiation, formal mantra diksha, they know that Guru says that don't utter the mantra publicly. It is inside. People will not know that you are doing japam, you are meditating. Don't show. It is not a show. Out of love you are doing. Do people, those who fall in love, boys and girls or anything in this world, do they like their secret things to make it public? Publicly they meet each other and talk their conversation. They always try to hide it. It is between me and my beloved. Always that is the... So with God also, if God is your everything, your mother, your father, your paramour, your love, your beloved, your friend, whatever it may be, there you must always maintain the secrecy. That is the sacredness. This is not only secrecy, this is sacredness also. It is so pure that you cannot make it public. Should make it a show. So mother cannot, hey, people come and I am just showing my love to my child, my affection. Oh, people who are there, come and see how much I love my son, my child. It is not there. It is rather a kind of, it is bizarre. So it's crazy. Rather it comes automatically. And nobody else knows it. So Bhagavan is telling, those who keep their mind in God, in me and me alone, giving up everything, entire reliance on me, meditate on me, worship me without any attachment for it, they might soon lift up from the birth of this ocean of birth and death, this suffering. Birth and death means this samsara, this world. Birth and death. What is this world? Having birth, suffering, a little bit enjoyment, so-called enjoyment, and then dying. Again to be born, again to suffer. So, I make them free. So, those who are, as their mind is wholly attached to me. And now Swamiji is explaining. Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga are both referred to here. Both may be said to have been defined in the above passage. Jnana Yoga is grand. I'll go, this Jnana Yoga is there in 15th chapter also, this. And Jnana Yoga is there in the 2nd chapter also. Gita, 18th chapter is there. Many places are there. It is not that discussion of Jnana is only in the Jnana Yoga chapter. Bhakti is only in the Bhakti Yoga. There it is emphasized, mainly spoken. But the whole book has intermingling of this connection of this karma, bhakti. There is a chapter karma yoga, there is a chapter bhakti yoga. Karma and bhakti, about that it is mainly, it is discussed there. But it doesn't mean that in other chapters also, presence of karma, bhakti, jnana, yoga, dhyana, these are not present. So, Swamiji is telling Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga are both referred to here. Both may be said to have been defined in the above passage. Jnana Yoga is grand. It is high philosophy. And almost every human being thinks, curiously enough, Swami himself is telling, that he can surely do everything required of him by philosophy. Oh, everything is, I am God. So I am God. As if I have become God. But that is Vedanta. I am talking of Vedanta. I am living the life of Vedanta. Living the life of Vedanta, but I have my bank account, I have my car, I have my body consciousness, I have my honor, I have my ego. If you say something insulting, I will be immediately reacting. I will be feeling the hate inside. And I have my joy, what my tongue likes to speak or eat. I am happy to see the people I love. I am unhappy to see the people whom I do not love, do not like. Oh, these people are here. Immediately I feel, but no, I am a Jnana Yogi, I am a... Swamiji says, this is the bad side. Swamiji will explain. In the Bhakti Yoga, there is the chances of fall is less. But in Jnana Yoga, because you are thinking, I am God, you are taking the decision, but you have not acquired the godly qualities yet. But you are claiming and posing, trying to establish yourself, show yourself that I am God, because that is the scripture says. I am the follower of the path of knowledge. Knowledge says that yes, I am Brahman. Everything is Brahman, nothing is there. But you make just a prick a little here, a little, oh God, immediately. I will feel, what you are nonsense you are doing, you are rascal. So, Swamiji will tell that this Jnana Yoga is grand. And mostly, curiously enough, it is Swamiji's words, you see, curiously enough, everybody thinks, human being thinks, that he can surely do everything required of him by philosophy. But it is really very difficult to live truly the life of philosophy. Now come here. It is also the echo of the same 12th chapter. Bhagavan Sri Krishna was telling to Arjuna, Arjuna, it is grand, it is good. They will also come to me. But very difficult. So long you have this body consciousness, you have ego, you have the feeling, you have not been able to control your all the 5 senses of action and 5 senses of perception, and also your mind. Mind also is a kind of sense. So these things are, you have no control over them, and you are claiming, no, I am a Jnana Yogi, I am God, I am Brahman, I am Brahman. That does not make any sense. It doesn't sound nice and honest. And there is the difficulty, there is the chances to fall. Swamiji will tell now. It is very difficult, truly, in the life of philosophy. We are often apt to run into great dangers in trying to guide our life by philosophy. This world may be said to be divided between persons of demoniacal nature who think the caretaking of the body to be the be-all and the end-all of existence, and persons of godly nature who realize that the body is simply a means to an end, an instrument intended for the culture of the soul. In the Gita, Bhagavan Sri Krishna is telling Arjuna, don't think you are the doer. It is me. Me means God, not think of Krishna, a body, a person. It is not that. That ultimate reality, that power is working through this body. That ultimate reality is doing everything. You are not the doer. If you have any sense of this doership, then it is ahankara vimaratma kartaham iti manyate. Those who are steeped in under the spell of this maya, this ignorance, that I am the doer, I have become successful, I have done that, I have achieved that, I have done this. So it's a mistake. It is ignorance, and the result will be suffering. Don't think that you are the doer, although all these enemies will be killed, because I have already killed them. It is only show. It is a just platform, a stage, drama, a theater is going on as it were. You stand, you play your role. Script is written by me, director is myself, playwright, director, everything, and it is me who is speaking through you. Only you do your role. You are given in this life the role of a servant. Don't try to shout like the king. Always be humble and everything. And you are given that role to play the role of the king. So don't be that that I am nothing, I am nothing. No, you are the king. So play in that way. Don't think you are playing, you are doing. Script is mine, power is mine, words are mine, everything is mine, direction is mine. No, just follow the direction. Be a good instrument in the hands of God. Then no problem. Anything comes, I am there to face that. I know who will do any harm to you. And what is harm? I am there to protect you. I give my word. Pratijani name bhakta pranashyati. Arjun, proclaim this to the whole world. Declare that my devotee can never be destroyed. Nobody can do it. Our Holy Mother, you see such a calm and quiet lady, she is telling, my child, how could you think that anything wrong can befall on you? If Vedanta Sadhani, I am speaking in Bengal, quoting Holy Mother, then I will translate. Amar Shantaner Koti Kore. How? I am there, I am the mother to take care. How can even God, Vedanta means who is writing our fate, means God. God even cannot do any wrong, anything bad to my child, whose responsibility I have taken, who has surrendered to me at my feet, everything. So in the Gita also, this echoing the Gita idea. And in the Gita, Sri Krishna said, Arjun, tell the whole world that who depends on me, I protect them. Name bhakta pranashyati. My devotees cannot perish, cannot be destroyed. Nobody can. So, ordinary people, so there are two types of people. This one has demoniacal nature, who think the caretaking of the body to be the be-all and end-all. And another type of people are this godly nature, who realize that this body is simply a machine, an instrument for the culture of the soul. The devil can and indeed does cite the scriptures for his own purpose, and thus the way of knowledge appears to offer justification to what the bad man does, as much as it offers inducements to what the good man does. This is the great danger in Jnana Yoga. But Bhakti Yoga is natural. So Jnana Yoga problem is there. They claim that, yes, I am Brahman, and doing anything and everything. Because this world is, it is not unreal. Why you are giving too much? What I have done, impure, illogical, unethical. What is this? This does not have any value. It is all dream. So there is a chance of falling down. They raise themselves to such a height that when the fall comes, fall also comes. It is a great fall becomes. But devotee is always, no, I am nothing. I am the servant, I am the child of God. So the devotee does not claim for anything big. The chances of falling also for the devotees is less. Those who follow the path of devotion, there is chance of less falling, because I am always dependent on God. Oh God, save me. I know my mind is not that pure. I know my weaknesses. Oh God, I know my mind is attached to the worldly things. Please save me, please save me. I am your child, I am your child, I am your friend, I am your son, I am your daughter. So many paths are there in path of devotion. You, just Sri Ramakrishna says, have a relation with God. Mother, father, paramour, whatever, friend, son, Jashoda. And this Kaushalya, mother of Sri Krishna, Mother Mary's, how she had this affection, Vatsalya Bhava, child Jesus, she was taking care. So in the case of Ramchandra, his mother, Kaushalya, this affectionately always taking care of the God thinking. They knew that during the Homa it came, and Mary also knew that she has conceived this baby without having any intercourse. So physical relation, union. And Mother Kaushalya knew that this is a divine child, because we ate something. It is not through our physical union that these boys have, but affection is that like it's mother's mind, always thinking the small baby I have to take care, forgetting that the baby is not the baby ordinary, the baby is God Himself. Devaki, the Sri Krishna's mother, father, always thinking, oh, what will happen? If Kamsa comes and kill the boy. Seeing that the divine aura is there, God is talking to them, coming, being born without having any physical relationship, they have got these boys, they know they are in prison, but forgetting, always palpitation is going on, sweating and cannot sleep, restless. If the sentry now sees, if Kamsa comes and kill the boy, or how can the boy be killed? Though this comes to the mothers. So this is path of Vatsalya. Srimati Radha, they worshipped as gopis, that God is my paramour. So Arjuna worshipped, God is my friend. So there are so many paths, rishis, munis, shanta, calm and quiet, thinking the presence of, they don't have any desire. Everything is Brahman, we know, and thinking of that ultimate reality without having any. So Shanta, Dasya, this Hanumanji, servant attitude. I am the servant of God. Hanuman is Jnani, Hanuman is devotee, Hanuman has all power, everything, but always, no, I am the child of, I am the servant of Ramchandra. Sri Ramakrishna, doing everything, knows who he was, but still, anybody praised, anything said, Master, it has happened, you say, no, Mother knows, Mother knows. I am the child of Mother, I do not know anything. Always showing egolessness. So there is the chances to be fallen down is very less. So Swamiji is telling that in the case of this egoistic so-called followers of path of knowledge, they boast, everything is Brahman, I am Brahman. But not having the attributes, the qualities, the competence to claim so, without any tapasya, austerities, they are claiming that they have achieved something. So, Bhagavan in the Gita is telling that path of devotion is very sweet and less problematic, and there is better for the common people who have body consciousness, because if they surrender their ego and how gradually everything becomes purified in their case, that also Swamiji will describe. We go ahead. The devil can and indeed does cite the scriptures for his own purpose, and thus the way of knowledge appears to offer justification to what the bad man does, as much as it offers inducements to what the good man does. Good people, bad people, scripture is for everyone, but bad people take advantage of the good words of the, yes, why do you think you are a sinner? All are pure, all are God. Oh God, I have done so much bad things, should I forget that? And another one is life after life has purified himself. So how can I equal myself without doing the same thing, without purifying myself? Because scripture said, everything is Brahman, I become Brahman. I have to raise myself to that level. Yes, You can become Brahman, that potential is there, but you have to manifest. And certain paths are there, ways are there, means are there to manifest that divinity within. So Bhakti is always humble. No, God, I know. Anytime I may fall. My mind is weak. I become attached to anything and everything. I cannot control my mind. I have lust, I have anger, I have hatred, I have greed, I have desires. Please purify. I began with the Hanumanji's mantra that Nanna Sprihadogvate, O Ramchandraji, O God, see that my mind doesn't become polluted by any passion or anything. See that only I love you and you alone. You are there in my heart. See that I am not entrapped. I don't get lost. So there is the responsibility of the God comes, that I have surrendered myself. I know my weaknesses, how to face these challenges of life, this lust, anger, greed, hatred, jealousy, evil propensities I am born with. I do not know how to handle. You protect me. You are my father, you are my mother, you are my beloved, you are my everything, you are my master. So God comes there. But Jnani says, where is God? Who is God? I am God. Then you behave like a God. Be godly. Yes, you are God. No problem. Only you have to be like that. Only words you will not do. You will enjoy all the sensual enjoyments and you will tell, I am divine. No, you are devil. You are brute. So, be not, that is the difficulty in the case of following the path of knowledge. They claim something, the devil can and indeed does cite the scriptures to justify themselves. So in the case of the so-called pseudo Vedantists, followers of this knowledge, they call. Vedanta is full of Jnana also, Bhakti also. This Dvaita, Advaita, Vishishtadvaita. There are three levels are there in the Vedanta. But they call Advaita Vedanta. I am this world is not there. I am he, I am he. Yes, you are he when you really become entitled, competent, raise yourself, purified by crushing, burning all your desires and losing your body consciousness. No senses have any power to exercise over your mind. Your mind is under control, it is purified. Not only control, when mind is purified, it will not think of anything wrong, anything bad. I have my mind, but if I am purified, if I am raised to that level, higher level, then mind will not misguide me, mislead me, will not drag me down. So, good men use this for their good purposes and bad people use the scripture quote to justify their wrongdoings. This is the great danger in Jnana Yoga. But Bhakti Yoga is natural, sweet and gentle. The Bhakta does not take such high flights as the Jnana Yogi, and therefore he is not apt to have such big falls. I am claiming I am God. I am that Brahman, and behaving like a brute or devil. So what a great fall. From Brahman level, I am fallen to the brute level. But devotees does not take that high flight, claiming anything, I am God, I am servant of God, I have my weaknesses, I am not competent, I cannot give, oh please don't attach these things to me. It has happened, but I have not done this good thing. God has done this, I am God's servant, I am God's child. So, there is the chances of fall is very little, and even if it happens, it will not be that great. But the Bhakti Yoga is natural, sweet and gentle. The Bhakta does not take such high flights as the Jnana Yogi, and therefore he is not apt to have such big falls. Until the bondages of the soul pass away, it cannot, of course, be free, whatever may be the nature of the path that the religious man takes. Whether it is the path of bhakti, karma, yoga, jnana, or dhyana, whatever you do, if until the bondages of the soul pass away, if you have ego, if you have desires, if you have not controlled your senses, if your mind is still impure, then it cannot be, of course, be free. Whatever may be the path the aspirant follows, religious man takes. So it is bhakti, gyan, this name of the, I am a jnana yogi, it doesn't make, I am a son of a doctor. I don't become a doctor. My father was the richest man of the world, but I have already destroyed all my father's property. I am a pauper now. I cannot claim that anymore I am the king. My father was king, but I am now a pauper. So, because my father was a king, yes, people show me a little respect. I should have the quality to retain that kingdom, then only people will. Only claiming will not do. Of course, one will be free, whatever path it may be, but this, all the bondages, so many bondages, bondage means desires, feeling this bodiness. I am body, I need the help of my body, mind, they are not controlled. I try to make them happy. I try to enjoy through my body and mind, my senses. That will not do. If you want to be free, you have to be free from all these bondages of attachment. Attachment to the worldly things, to be cut asunder, son, and attachment to God. Detaching the world, attaching to the God. That will make us free. Not the name of path. Here is a passage showing how, in the case of one of the blessed gopis, the soul-binding chains of both merit and demerit were broken. How the gopis, devotees of God, how it happens in their life by following the path of devotion, how their merits and demerits, merits also will bind you, demerits also. So, either you will enjoy something, if you have done something good karma and you have not given up your desire, then you will enjoy some joy. But that is also binding. You cannot say I am free. Free means free. In the second chapter, there is the how is a man free? That's sita praggasya ka bhasa samadhistasya keshava sita dhi king prabhashita kima sita brajeta kim. When a man becomes free of all desires and everything and established in knowledge, in Brahman, knowledge of the Brahman, what is the condition he becomes? What happens with such people? Arjuna was asking, and Bhagavan Sri Krishna was giving the answer. Prajahati jada kaman sanvarde dukeshu anudbigna mana sukeshu vigatospyo. Just a little bit I give, you understand, you get a little bit nectar of this condition. Arjuna asked, said, Sri Krishna, how can one identify a man who is firmly established and absorbed in Brahman? In what manner does an illumined soul speak? How does he sit? How does it work? How is his daily life he conducts? So Bhagavan Sri Krishna is telling, he knows bliss in the Atman and wants nothing else. Cravings, nothing else. Cravings torment the heart. He renounces cravings. I call him illumined, not shaken by adversity, not hankering after happiness, free from fear, free from anger, free from the things of desire. I call him a seer and illumined. The bonds of his flesh are broken. He is lucky and does not rejoice. He is unlucky and does not weep. I call him illumined. Lucky, unlucky, joy, happiness, they are beyond all these things. They are unperturbed in all situations. Dukeshu anudbigna chitta, I was just quoting this, anudbigna mana sukeshu vigatospyo. Neither happy in happiness, that elatedness, nor unhappy in the unhappy condition, in the suffering. I'm beyond everything. I'm unperturbed, undisturbed. Mind is completely, equanimity has come in my mind. So that is the Jnani, that who is illumined, his condition is like that. So at the end, a wonderful thing is there, and that he lives without craving, free from ego, free from pride. This is the state of enlightenment in Brahman. A man doesn't fall back from it into delusion. Even at the moment of death, he is alive in that enlightenment, Brahman, and he are one. This is Jnana Yogi. And in the what is there in the Bhakti Yoga, what happens to a final devotee? And Master is telling, this Sri Krishna is telling, that God is telling, that you see what happens to a highest kind of devotee. Stulya ninda stutirmun samasatro cha mitre cha tatha manapamānaya shītasna sukha dukkhesu sama sanga vivarjita. Tulya ninda stutirmoni santushta yena kena chita aniketa sthiramutir bhaktiman sa priyonara. So, meaning is this. His attitude is the same toward friend and foe. This is like the Jnana Yoga illumined. Just I said, it is from the second chapter, Sankhya Yoga. That means Jnana Yoga, this. They are unperturbed, dukkha sanudbigna, unperturbed in one situation. And what is the condition of that supreme devotion who has achieved? His attitude is the same toward friend and foe, unperturbed. He is indifferent to honor and insult, heat and cold, pleasure and pain. He is free from attachment. He values praise and blame equally. He can control his pace. He is content with whatever he gets. His home is everywhere and nowhere. His mind is fixed upon me, and his heart is full of devotion. He is dear to me. What is the difference between that supreme man of knowledge, supreme knowledge, and a person of supreme devotion? It is the same, unperturbed in all situations, not feeling any enmity, any hatred, any jealousy, any lust, any greed, any anger, any kind of evil feelings, anything wrong. Mind is calm and quiet in all situations, heat and cold, summer and winter, good and bad, loss and gain, pleasure and pain, everything. Mind is equanimity. This state of mind has come, achieved, he or she. So, these are the condition of the supreme man of supreme knowledge and man of supreme devotion, para bhakti and this param jnana. So, all these things are there. And how the gopis, devotees, comes beyond everything. I have done good karmas, I have done bad karmas, I have to suffer that. I have to bear, go through, pass through all these things. But in the case of, Swamiji is telling, here is a passage showing how, in the case of one of the blessed gopis, the soul-binding chains of both merit and demerit were broken. The quote, the intense pleasure in meditating on God took away the binding effects of her good deeds. Then her intense misery of soul in not attaining unto Him washed off all her sinful propensities, and then she became free. Tachinta vipula lhada shina punna cha tatha tat praptim aho praptimo dukkha vilino shesho pataka. This is there from the Vishnu Purana. Chintayanti jagatsuting parabrahma sarupinam niruchhasataya mukting gatanna gopakannoka. Vishnu Purana, 5th chapter, 13 to 21st and 22nd verses. Tat praptimo mahadukha vilina sheshapataka. Tachinta people, what is happening to her, that gopi, who completely became absorbed in God and God alone, surrendered. All his intense pleasure in meditating on God took away the binding efforts of good deeds. She did many good things. That also will bind. But because she is meditating, intense pleasure in meditating, her joy not for any other worldly object, through that she will be bound. My joy in God, so I am not bound. That joy will not bind me. But worldly joy, enjoyment, that will bind me. But because she is a devotee, she has given up everything, she has taken the refuge in God. So the intense pleasure in meditating on God, she is meditating on God, took away the binding effects of her good deeds. And what happened to her bad deeds she did? Then her intense misery of soul in not attaining unto Him. Oh, I have not got yet. I am suffering. What is that suffering? Oh, where is my God? Why I cannot see you? In the life of Sri Krishna it happened, in the life of Gopis it happened, in the life of Chaitanya Devi it happened, in the life of Radha it happened. Where is God? Where is God? I cannot live anymore. All his or her suffering is thinking of God, this of not having viraha, not seeing God's presence, feeling that all the suffering, bad suffering, sinful acts I did, I according to my karma, if I am not surrendering my ego to God, taking shelter in God, then I have to suffer through all the worldly experiences. Here also I have my pain, only that pain, I am shedding tears. Oh God, where are you? Why I cannot see you always? Just now you came. Why you have gone? Sri Ramakrishna used to shed tears in that, oh my mother, where are you? Where are you? Ordinary people used to think, oh God, perhaps his mother has passed away, or perhaps his mother is in the village, this young man always shedding tears, or how cruel-hearted mother, father, why this beautiful small child they have kept away. And they did not know what Sri Ramakrishna was crying for, shedding tears profusely, day and night, having no body consciousness. So his or her suffering becomes finished in this way. Good deeds, thinking of God, oh, meditating on God, so good effect, good deeds what I did, that finishes. Because one has to be free from the binding of good karmas and bad karmas. Then only one is free. It is not that I am doing all good karmas and my desire is there. Yes, I have done good karmas, I have given, donated, I have done seva, I am karma yoga, I am doing always good to others. If the desire is there, then I have to enjoy name, fame, respect, appreciation. But this is also binding, I am not free. So, in the case of Bhakta, that story is there in the Vishnu Purana, that the gopi became free of her good deeds and bad deeds through meditation and through washing away him, this not attaining unto him, washed off all her sinful propensities. In Bhakti Yoga, the central secret is therefore to know that the various passions and feelings and emotions in the human heart are not wrong in themselves, only they have to be carefully controlled and given a higher and higher direction until they attain the very highest condition of excellence. The highest direction is that which takes us to God. Every other direction is lower. We find that pleasures and pains are very common and oft recurring feelings in our lives. When a man feels pain because he has not wealth or some such worldly thing, he is giving a wrong direction to the feeling. Still, pain has its uses. Let a man feel pain that he has not reached the highest and he has not reached God, and that pain will be to his salvation. And when you become glad that you have a handful of coins, it is a wrong direction given to the faculty of your joy. It should be given a higher direction. It must be made to serve the highest ideal. Pleasure in that kind of ideal must surely be our highest joy. This same thing is true of all our other feelings. The Bhakta says that not one of them is wrong. He gets hold of them all and points them unfailingly towards God. We know we have our weaknesses, we have our this, that, good, bad. But in the case of a devotee, he directs it all towards God. Oh, yes, by God's grace I have. They don't praise me. You are giving me, I am giving it, surrendering it to God. And you are blaming me, you are calling my names. Also, God, see what to do. God, I do not know. That also I am giving. So, neither I suffer from anything bad, nor anything good I am enjoying. Everything is being offered, directed to God in the case of Bhakti Yogi, Bhakta. So that happens, it naturalness of this Bhakti Yoga. This renunciation and suffering, it doesn't make any, it doesn't leave any mark. It cannot perturb me, disturb my mind's peace and joy, because I am always absorbed in God and God alone, thinking of God. And if some good comes, that also I am offering to His feet, and if some bad comes, that also. So after the puja we say, whatever good, bad we have done through this puja, ita karma manav deha dharmadhikarado jagrat sapna sushupti avasthasu, in my dreaming state, in my dream state, awakened state, sleeping state, whatever, with my hands, padbham, shishnaudran, all my senses, whatever I have done, oh God, I surrender, I offer everything to your feet. So in this way, the devotee becomes free of all bondage. And when your bondages are cut asunder, then you are free. The joy of that freedom, mukti, liberation, that is wonderful. Feeling the presence of God, being one with God, feeling that there is no second entity from the path of this Jnana Yoga, and this from the path of Bhakti Yoga. There's I am one with my beloved, my God. What is my, because that is the joy I want, always to be with him or her, my object of worship, my chosen deity, my personal God. So in this way, in the case of devotion, path follower, path of a devotee, it becomes very easy and natural to withstand any situation, remaining unperturbed and feeling the bliss of joy, this feeling the presence of God within and without. And in the case of Jnani also, within and without, seeing the same ultimate reality. So we stop here, we will continue again. Is there some questions? Thank you. Anything, Lisa? Yes? Give the mic.
Hi, thank you so much for your talk. You talked about body consciousness and not being identified with the body. So what is the way to do that? How do you stop being identified with the body? Because when you go in the world, everybody is treating you a certain way. It's easy to be identified with how people see you and talk to you and interact with you.
That sloka, tulya ninda stutir mauni santushta, I remain unperturbed. I am practicing that. Oh God, see that my mind doesn't attach with the praises. Then also when scolding is coming, blaming is coming, bad words are coming, curses are coming, at that time also, oh God, you see, save me. They see that I remain unperturbed in all situations. Prayer, depending on a higher power, that gives you relief. Small boys know the servant's boy and the landlord's boy, both are small babies, they are working, playing together, and there is a fight between. Both are telling, I will call my mother will teach you. The servant's boy, lady maid servant's boy also knows I have my mother. This baby doesn't know, boy does not know that his mother is the maid servant only. So, and in our case, our God is not maid servant, our God is the everything. My mother is the divine mother of the creation, preservation, dissolution, everything in her. My God is all-powerful God, omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent, everything. So, additional power you get to overcome any situation. See that I am not, oh my God, see that I am not connected, attached to anything. So anything comes, all the blows, good blows or joy, blows of joy, and blows of suffering, torturing, everything we can bear in the case of a devotee, joyfully. That is what. And practice maketh a man perfect. Begin. What I will learn in the school, what I will learn in the school. Every day I am talking school, alphabet. This begin with the alphabet. One day I will find that, yes, year after year. This, in the Gita, Sri Krishna said, Arjun, don't think overnight you can become a yogi. Shanai, shanai, uparame. Bit by bit, slowly, but it will come. If you practice, you must get it. Abhyasanatu konte. If you have this detachment in mind and practicing always, no, I pray every day, God is not doing anything for me. God is my servant. I am praying, but with all my desire. God, do this. God, see that. I am praying what I want. I am not telling God what is good or bad. Be it my failure, be it my loss, be it my suffering, you know, you are my mother, you are my father, you are my beloved, you are my child, you are my everything. I do not know anything. If problems come, it is your responsibility. See that I give me the power to face that. And if attachment comes, see that I have the power to overcome that. So in the path of devotion, always prayer. This Sri Ramakrishna's wonderful prayer, last time I read, Oh Mother, I know my weaknesses, I do not have knowledge, I do not have devotion, I do not have love for Thee, I do not know how to worship You, I am so ignorant, I am of no value, I know without You I am valueless. So Mother, show me the path. So all right, I surrender at Your feet. I do not know. In this world nobody is there. I know nobody is mine. Only You are mine. So see that I get devotion, I get knowledge. Ma, see that I am not cheated. Ma, see that I am not lost. So it is like that. We have to be like that small baby who depends for everything. I do not know that my mother is a beggar, but I know I have a mother. Any problem comes, I challenge the son of the king also, prince also. You have beaten me, you have kicked me. I will tell my mother to take action. I do not know how much my mother powerful is. Even a beggar's boy says, I have mother. And we know our mother is not beggar. Our mother is the queen of the whole universe. If you have that faith and completely surrender on your mother and father, your father God or mother God, then thank you. Lisa? So then we can close here. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanam Astu.